Well, good morning, guys. Welcome back. And we are starting off this beautiful, soon to be hot and muggy Monday morning for me, scouting more fields. So far we have learned this field was actually hit twice, one of the only cornfields we've ran contact herbicide twice. And how's it looking?
Through there, I mean, there's a little bit, but then you get into your thin spots and it's not good. I mean, this is pretty heavy right here.
Well, this is the one field we were halfway optimistic on, being the fact that it's had 2 doses on it. And then if you can tell, sunlight on the ground. You can look under here. Now there are still weeds down there, but where the corn is taller, almost chest high now, there's a lot less sunlight to the ground. It's canopied. It's almost fully canopied. The corn shades out the ground a lot more. Weeds don't get the sunlight they need to grow.
At this point, I don't know. With the corn height, other than running drops, there's not much else you can do with it.
No, it's actually pretty sad when we say we're pleased that we only see this amount of weeds. Take you guys to some of these other bean fields that we're looking at, and it's gnarly.
Those aren't good.
It's not good. All right, well, you can see all this. See this water hemp right here on the beans? Tiny things. That one looks like it's gonna die, but look at all these. Like, right here's an example. Alexis made fun of me when I said smoked the snot out of the belts.
That's what you did.
I did. Smoked this, but yet there's new growth, so that one's not gonna die.
And that's small.
And that was a 2-inch water hemp, well within label. Especially for 40 ounces, which was more than a full rate. Yeah, when we were spraying this, we were worried about the residual holding and breaking before these beans get to canopy. But now we're seeing our problem was killing the weeds that were out here.
No, it'll be interesting to see what co-op's agronomist, kind of their chemical specialist, says about respraying. And
because we are personally at a loss for what to do. He's supposed to be out here this afternoon. He's going to walk a lot of fields with our local co-op, and we're going to hopefully hear something from them that'll give us a game plan on what to do with the water hemp that's not dying. So our main goal right now is to figure out which fields have the worst pressure still, and kind of get a list together of the ones that need sprayed when we do hear from them on what the game plan would be or should be. Well, they weren't too worried about us showing up while they were eating our beans.
I don't see much out here. Definitely on the end road, though.
Oh, there's one. Well, we finally found one farm that we thought we might not have to spray, but no surprise, it's out here. The nice thing about this, though, if there is one caveat to it, because we did a full rate of Liberty on all of these acres and it didn't work on the weeds that are out here, it's not new growth, it's the fact that the old weeds we sprayed didn't die. We've been told that the chemical rep will cover the cost of the chemical, so there's no reason for us not to spray it. If we're going to come out here and spray some of it, we might as well spray the border of every field we've got that has the water hemp and try and get as much benefit out of it as we can. Smoked but living. Dead but alive. Well, that one might have died.
I bet you that survives. Look at that, this one's coming out. I just about knocked it out.
Yeah, there's a fresh leaf on it, and
there's a fresh one. So even one that looks completely dead is still alive.
You guys remember that, what was it, what did they call it, a solar storm?
It was the Northern Lights.
Yeah, when the Northern Lights were down here, it was like a solar storm type thing. Well, this was the field I was planting when that was going on, and we were having some crazy, you guys have heard of some crazy GPS issues? Well, there's my guess row. It was throwing my guidance for a loop, this whole field, and it took me forever to figure out what was going on. See, look at that guess row. And this is all while my monitor was telling me I was dead on my row. Let's see if I can find another one. There's another one. If you look, that one down farther on that end, that one's actually overlapping. Show you one more. Oh, right here. Look at these beans. That's 2 rows. Nice thing about that in beans is it doesn't matter when it comes to harvest. Now, when Dad was fighting that on another farm further south, our guess row's all off. Might be interesting harvesting that field. Show you guys a little something here. So this is we called it the 3-acre patch. We used to come up here and farm this 3 acres, and it was always terrible, absolutely terrible. So it's been, I think, 3 years ago. Was it 3 years ago?
It's probably been
4.
Yeah, probably 4 or 5.
4 or 5 years ago, we actually turned this back into CRP and went into a bee pollinator program. And we came up here, worked it all down, planted a lot of wildflowers and everything that supposedly bees like. And first time we've checked it in a little while. The first time I've checked it this year, and absolutely pleased with the stand we still have even after 5 years. All kinds of flowers out here, and if you guys could hear that, there's a whole lot of buzzing coming out of the field. Lots of activity out there, so that's awesome to see. Alright guys, made it up here to the wheat field, and this is the whole reason that we put wheat up here. We are putting a full drainage system on this 80-acre field. When I talk about a drainage system, this is what I'm talking about. So this is plastic tile. This is 6-inch, so this will be one of the sub mains. And then we've got 4-inch over here, which will, no, you're good, which will be 4-inch right here, which will be the laterals, but it's literally grid. It's like on 50-foot centers is what this field is going in as, and it will be roughly what, 36
to 38.
36 to 38 inches would be the target depth, roughly. One awesome thing about drainage tile is it will only pull excess moisture out of the ground. All right, so trying to explain this in terms for any of you guys that may have never been around drainage tile is actually really difficult. When this is tiled, which we will take you guys through the process, any excess water that is on this farm will be drained away. So we've decided that it's way too difficult to try and run you guys through everything that's going to happen with this project. So starting out, I'll put in a short picture here about the layout and what we've been given from Jim. The whole start of the process is there is actually roughly 16 acres in this area that already has plastic tile in the ground. So the first step, they have to figure out where everything's at.
They'll probably be able to find this pretty quick since they've got their maps. They know very roughly where.
Yeah, they put this in what? Jim and his father-in-law are actually the ones that put this in, I think 27 years ago, he said. 97, which would have been 27 years ago. They actually put in this 16 to 20 acres or so.
Yeah. So right now he's probing for the main that is draining the tile that's in the ground now. And then what they do when they put in the new outlet, which will be down there by that barn, they are going to hook in this system into that new outlet.
Give you guys a close-up look of this tile. So these ribs are for structural support in the ground, and if you look closely, this is called knife cut tile. You can see a bunch of slits that they cut into the tile. And that is what allows the water to get into the tile and drain, but yet they're not big enough to allow dirt in. Alright guys, since it seems like it's a day of updates, figured we'd go ahead and stop by Jipville here as well and show you the progress they're making on our bin. Looks like they've got the roof on and the first ring started. It's gonna be a lot shinier than the others. Not too much to see. The guys are still working, so I don't want to bother them too much. But we'll keep you updated as it goes up. One thing about these bins, if you're not familiar with putting a grain bin up, as you can see, the roof is already done. And they've got probably, I think, when we came by this morning, I think there were like 6 jacks on the inside. They actually jacked the whole bin up, put the next layer under it, jack it up, put the layer under it. So it's really cool with these grain bins. They actually build them from the top down. So it's pretty cool to watch. I think that's about it for today. We'll definitely have more on that tiling project for you guys here shortly in the future. I think you guys will enjoy that. I don't enjoy putting it in, but I enjoy watching it and I enjoy the benefits that we get from the tile. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Find that thumbs up for me. Subscribe if you haven't, and as always, see you in the next one.